So the ball starts with the goalkeeper. The idea being, the yellows, if they make a pass, so say the keeper plays out to here, the ball can be passed from there straight into the target for 1 point. However, if they travel, so when you feel ready and you feel that your players are ready to move on from our earlier practice with the handball game, it might be that you feel that they want to do that for the whole practice based on their needs. However, if you feel that they're ready for the next practice, this is certainly one that I would recommend. So what we've got here, as you can see in terms of pitch geography, we've tried to go with the directional practice from where the goal would be to a target player, which is here in the opposite area, laid out with the flat spots there. We've also got a line across here which equates to a halfway line. This would be laid out also with flat spots, not cones where possible, due to health and safety. Okay, so the idea of the practice linked to intercepting. So we've got a practice before where they've hopefully developed those core skills and even recognised the opportunities when, where and how. Will they get it all in one go? No. Are we giving them opportunities to learn and practice? Absolutely. So the idea being, the yellows are trying to get the ball into the target. So yellows are going that way, and blues, they are trying to intercept or win the ball, and then they're looking to score into the goal that way. So the ball starts with the goalkeeper. The idea being, the yellows, if they make a pass, so say the keeper plays out to here, the ball can be passed from there straight into the target for 1 point. However, if they travel and they get the ball past the halfway line and then play it in, that's worth 3 goals. Why, you might ask? Well, I don't always want, in terms of pitch realism, the ball coming out and we play passes like that all the time, because naturally we would want some clever movement centrally, but we would also encourage our players, including our goalkeeper, which is a fundamental person within the practice, to push out as well and support that play. So 1 point if they pass from there, but also if they travel or they might play it into there, they then score 3 points. Now, as soon as that ball hits the target or gets to the target player, now if that's the goalkeeper, you might say they can play it to feet, or if they have goalkeeper gloves, they might be able to catch it. So it develops those fundamental core handling skills. Okay, now as soon as it goes into them, either to their feet or hands, that player or the target player or the goalkeeper, if you have an extra keeper, they then can play directly and play really quickly to one of their blues who are then looking to attack the practice or the goal. Why do I want them to play quickly? Because we want them to attack when the other team are out of balance. What do we mean by out of balance? Well, when they're nice and secure and preventing the goal there, they're nice and balanced. However, when they've just scored, for example, they might be pushed up here into the practice. Now it's they're going to kind of like counter-attack when the team's unbalanced. So we'd like to challenge our players with a little bit of that. Now, my role and your role will definitely be about, one, supporting these players whilst looking after the ball, but then also around the intercepting, recognising opportunities where the ball, if it goes across to there, what the roles might be of these to prevent the ball, one, going to the target, because that's how they score, which is what they're going to want to do, but then recognising opportunities when the balls come into the other players, when they can or can't go and win the ball like that. That would be marvellous. So what I'd like us to try and think about, players are not locked in to any zones in here. The only thing, if you are working with the youth development phase, PDP phase, I'd like you to consider obviously realism of where the striker, the number 9, perhaps might be in relation to where the ball is playing out from the goalkeeper. So that might be one consideration you make if you were to work with older players, okay? How might I restart the practice? Now, just to start, I would have lots of footballs where I can in and around the goal. So it starts and it becomes where they get opportunities to have a go. And then as I would progress, I'd like to have footballs where they might be starting around different parts of the pitch. And it might be a throw-in, it might be a pass-in, or a dribbling. I quite like personally a dribbling because it creates lots of 1v1 opportunities. How might you make it easier? You might, for example, have an overload of one team where necessary. You might also ask them, to constrict them to say they have to be beyond the line to score for the team playing out, which might obviously support your players. You might have an overload or an underload in your defensive kind of shape that you've got set up there. But as you can see, 2 goalkeepers, 3 yellow players, 3 blue players. I believe personally that the challenges and things that they've developed in terms of the recognising of the opportunities to when and how and to intercept, then they can hopefully replicate it within this practice.